Welcome everybody, and tonight I've got a very special journey share story for you tonight from Mr. Peewee Woolger, who's a pleasure to have you here, Peewee. First of all, and where are you located, Peewee?
Thank you for having me, Charlie. I'm located in the back of the hills on Tunkillo, South Australia.
South Australia, so down at the back of Murray Bridge, basically, yeah.
Between Murray Bridge and Adelaide.
Yep, excellent. And Peewee, we just prior to the pushing the record button, we looked at the when you came into the Change Thinking program. It was September 2023, so it's just been over 2 years since. Well, I'll never forget our first conversation. Just over 2 years ago. And for the people watching, stay tuned in for this one. This is a story you got to hear. But Peewee, just over 2 years, yeah.
That is correct, and I'm glad I came across your page.
And I think the words you put out to me, first of all, is I need someone with a voice, someone who's strong with a voice.
I needed another voice. I needed a voice. Mine was broken and didn't seem to be getting through to anybody.
Yeah, and Peewee, I'm not for the sake of people watching this, I'm going to summarise, essentially part of your story, the short version, to some degree, but the Peewee Woolger story goes back not just a couple of years, but it goes back a long way, obviously. And I deal with a lot of guys that have gone through some terrible stuff. And Peewee, you were another person that was abused as a child, which would be bad enough in any case, but it what made yours particularly worse, mate, that was your abuser was your father, yeah?
That is correct.
And so after the abuse that happened over a number of years, and how old were you when this sort of came to light with the authorities?
I was in my 20s. So
you're in your 20s when the scope of the abuse that you and your sister were subject to, yeah? And at the time, this was a big story in South Australia, yeah?
Yes, that is correct. It made the news.
And your father essentially got sent to prison and is still incarcerated at this point, yeah?
He was sentenced to life in prison with time served. He would already he would only have to serve 21 years.
Okay, and still inside now. When's due for release?
We're talking within less than 24 months.
Less than 24 months. Okay. So now, at the time when your father was put away, the judge at the time suggested to you, because you share the same name as your father, that if you ever have children one day, maybe go and get the support of child services.
That is correct.
Okay, now, you unaware of even what child services are, for all you know, they could be this organisation that helps people, right? And between your father being put away and you eventually met a lady and tried to have children and ended up doing, was it 3 cycles of IVF unsuccessfully?
That is correct.
Okay, so you were trying yourself to very much become a father. And at the end of that 3 years, you both sort of parted and went your own ways, yeah?
That is correct. My wife and I had been in a relationship for 13 years in total.
Right.
And the last 3 years that wound up, yes.
And so your wife went one way, and then and you'd sort of written off the whole possibility after 3 years of anguish, written off the idea that you were going to become a dad. And then,
correct.
And then, lo and behold, the world delivers another lady into your life who's got children. I'm lucky enough to have met her as well. And so, and Kellyanne suggests that she'd love to bring some life into the world with you. And she becomes pregnant. And the result, after some dramas of birth and all sorts of, that's the long story. But eventually a beautiful little boy's born, Jonathan, and you are happy as pigs in shit, mate, basically, right? you know.
Among the things, other things, yes, it was like, here goes life. Let's do this right way.
And I've having known you for a couple of years now, Peter. I've had the privilege of seeing some of your early videos and pictures, and what was evident was the love that you weren't shown as a child was being shown to Jonathan. As far as engaged fathers and someone who gets such joy out of just holding your own child up, mate. It was beautiful to watch. And then what? Around the age of 1.5,
He was 15 months old.
15 months old, when an incident happened that resulted in the police. And in a nutshell, you were already in. You already had relations with child services at the time. You had a caseworker. You had a point of contact.
Yes,
And so when the incident that happened, which again was not what it was first suspected, you immediately reach out to child services for support because you're down at the police station and your partner's being charged, and so you call them on the understanding that some help's going to be coming. Your caseworker's going to be there,
that is correct.
and when you call up the person, your caseworker's not available.
No longer, they stated, no longer worked for the department. A stranger turned up.
And so a stranger turns up, and this is a very, very stressful matter. And this person from Child Services pretty much takes it upon themselves to play judge and jury, takes one look at you, decides that you're the problem.
She entered our premises, came to our premises after I'd contacted them because we needed some letters so we could travel. And on the morning of said such, following the situation, it was just, we'd fallen over in the shorthand, it had fallen over and pulled down. So I called the ambulance, the police, made sure my kid and my missus are okay. My kid was sitting in the car, my missus ready to go. And when I entered into the department, that's the realization of the name. They had called me by the name that started getting me a little bit bothered, and I happened to explain to them why it bothers me. And we entered into a safety plan where the name is going to be family friendly as Peewee, not as my real name is Peter. So if I'm to take my kids to school or anything, I'm already getting asked, do we know you? Do we remember you? We know that name. Mm-hmm. And to start off fresh for my son, it's meant to be Peewee, Peewee, or Peewee. That's it.
Child services turn up.
They turn up. They start calling me by a different name. I asked to see their identification. Their identification doesn't match the names on our safety plan. I've contacted the department and said, I've got somebody here. What shall I do? They state that ask them to leave. If they don't ask to leave, they don't leave. Demand them to leave. And upon that, go inside and close the door. That is what I did. With that, then they've gone and followed the missus and tried to find her and get her to enter into a safety plan. And because they're talking my name in the real name, she went to a safe house, which is one of our plans to have. So from that, then the very next morning I received a phone call from someone asking if do I remember her. And when she gave me the name, it's like, yes, I remember that. I remember you from yesterday. And that's when she told me that she'd removed my child. And I was to get in a taxi and go to the courthouse. I did said such. This lady made me very bothered and scared because I now have to go walking her into places with this identification of a person of things people remember, but I don't want to really go into right now.
Of course. And so you get separated from your child, right? And that was...
There's a process that you've got to take.
There's a process that you've got to take, right?
I understand.
When did your child get taken off you?
I didn't see him for a week, from that day. So the 29th of June, I received a phone call from this
29th of
person,
June,
2018.
2018.
Jonathan was
And that's the
15.
last time Jonathan was in your care
That is correct.
before child services. Now, um, so in a nutshell, a man who was abused as a child, who finally got to be a father, has then had his God-given right to be a father taken off him by a bungle that's happened with South Australian Child Services.
That is
And
correct.
they don't want to talk about it. I've written to the minister in South Australia. I've written to Child Services in South Australia. We've got to speak to someone, but we're very much shut out the door, Peewee, weren't we?
That is correct. We only just received another phone message in response from the member of parliament just this week, and
And I remember that. Sorry, Peter, you go.
he's forwarded it to the Minister of Child Protections once again. We were sent in the process of, in the last 3-4 weeks, about 7 more new letters. It's still not getting anywhere.
I'm still not getting anywhere.
No.
And this is, and I remember the very first night when you were able to tell the full story in full. And it probably took a couple of hours, I think, right?
It did.
Yep. And I remember getting to the end and going, "Oh my God, have you told a current affair, or have you told 60 Minutes about this?" Just because, look, it affected me, that. I think it affects anyone that hears about it. You've got a lovely little boy that you can't play father to, and it's not because of an ex-partner who's trying to just get back at you. It's by a government department who can't open their eyes to their own faults.
They sent with the stranger. Following the process, I even pointed out to each and every one of them where they're making their mistakes. They would ask me, am I threatening them? Am I making threats? No. They would have my anxiety through the roof trying to explain I asked for male workers because these young females did not need to hear the details of what I went through. And if they couldn't understand what I had said the first time, the second time, the third time, then they need to get a higher ranking person.
I just smiled then, Peter, because I was just listening to you speak nice and softly to me. And I remember it was very much some of the feedback we got early on in the calls, mate, wasn't it? I mean, you get very associated every time you told the story. Like as I said, mate, it's your stories. I think it's touched everybody who's taken the time to listen to it, and it's something that continues to this day to be wrong. We're still trying to do whatever we can, but more people need to know about your story. What did we ask? This needs to be opened up and investigated again. Yeah, all you did was follow on from the judge's advice. The judge
reached out.
reached out.
The child's
you didn't even know what child services did at that stage, right?
No, they're meant to help and keep families together. So when my partner needed me to step to a play, I stepped to that play for her and for my little boy. My little boy needed to see his mum. My little boy was born 4 weeks early. I'm in awe that I am a father, if people could understand what that means. So it's a responsibility among all things. And my responsibility is to keep that little boy safe from all life things, and including his grandfather.
And you haven't, you have had fathering duties to do though, right? Kellyanne's got, how many other children? 4 other kids? 5 other kids?
5 other kids.
So you are
adults now.
Yeah, well, they're adults, but at the end of the day, mate, you're the father figure here, and you're a bloody good one too, mate. I think we've learned a lot from each other, mate, since we've certainly become friends. There's no question about that. last year I had the privilege of you and your partner coming to the Goldie. I think it was your first trip out of South Australia, right?
Uh, you completed the circle. It was very hard at the same point because that's where we were headed when we were 6 days from heading away to Queensland. Back then.
Yep.
God, it's been difficult. We left the story in Queensland, and me and my partner, we travelled that, and we did that together. So not just me.
So Peter, I'll with sort of a bit of an awareness for the people who are watching now, and take it back to the program. I encourage you to join, and you joined. From your point of view, Peter, how, like, talk to
I
me.
was looking for a new set of tools. My story is something that I'm not really meant to talk about, like, the part of my father getting out. Now, in the case of what was setting me into a very bad spiral, was having to repeat myself over and over and having to drive to the town where it all happened. I'm a smart man. As a mechanic, I understand a lot. And if there's some of the things that I've got to discuss can't be discussed with just an everyday person, they need someone with some skills. And I think it would have been about the 4-year mark, no, the 2 to 4 year mark. I was looking for some tools, and your toolbox seemed to be the toolbox out of the best. I know that once I start talking and I start explaining myself, there's a right for everybody to check into this and look into it. What better way to find someone that has the right tools than keep looking? And I'm glad I found you, Charlie. Like, truly.
Oh, look, and I think most of the growth came out of conversations, mate, as opposed to the online content. I think we had many late night conversations during that time, and got to know each other, pretty damn well. We documented a lot of this stuff. We went back and played the tapes and recorded it and typed it out because we needed the long story. We needed the short story. But we still need
short story without having the long story.
Yeah, we had to get the long story out first, right? So, but the other thing, that comes with the Change Thinking program, mate, is some of the other members that are on there, and as you know, there's quite some characters, and we try and catch up on a Sunday night at 8 p.m. I know it's become part of your Sunday night when you can make it.
I missed 2. Come on, the last 2.
Yeah,
I got proof, boss. I got proof. I was working. I'm working.
So I know you can't be there all the time, but you're there most of the time, mate, and that's the important thing. I think there was, going back a couple of months ago, there was you wonder what Sparks is, but one night you got up and you expressed a little bit more about your story for the other people in the program who were just like gobsmacked, and there was a wave of support, wasn't there?
Certainly was.
That came in and does a lot for your own, for your own self-worth and self-respect, and to realize that, man, there's people here, and not just myself, but people in the program. The more people hear about, what's happened to you, because it's a great injustice. And I look forward to the day, mate, when little Jonathan's back in your arms, and I'm going to be there because I'm going to be there to tell him all the things that you did. You won't know them all, but I'm happy to fill in some gaps for him.
See, here's the thing. The last time, it was 1,500 days before I got to see him. And with that, the last time I had seen him, he was all bruised up and he couldn't walk. And the times before that, he had scratches. My little bugger boy only had a mark on his nose from when he was teething, and he rubbed his nose on the cloth. To see him every day after that with scratches, more bruises, scratches and bruises, and then bruises like a shoe print on his back. Then nothing for 1,000 days. That's been horrific because I don't know what he's going through. I'm meant to be the one comforting him with his mum. I'm the one who's responsible for him. So if someone puts their foot on another child or hurts another child, we're all meant to step in as a community. It's pretty hard when I'm the only one with the evidence of this proof. And no one wants to, you show the people that what's going on, and they're like, we don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But on that note, I did get a phone call, Charlie, just the other day when I got on this boat. Freedom of Information are going to do what they can to help me with the paperwork. There's 20,000 pages. So they're going to, it's all redacted. And because my son is on a, whatever they call it, so it's a private thing, they won't disclose any information. So it's all double redacted. So I'll just get blank papers with black lines through it. But the lady was very upset about what's going on with Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now nearly 9 years old. He's got to be coming at 8 or 7 or 8, 9, something like that. But his mummy got to see him the other day.
I'm glad to hear that.
Got to say to him, Daddy misses you. Daddy loves you.
Cool.
And he responded in kind and said, I miss Daddy. I love him. So his mum said that he has to be the one to say something. He doesn't know me anymore.
He will, though.
He hasn't had a photo in 2 years.
Mm. He will. He'll come back.
I hope so. But I'm smart enough to know that they grow up in their own way. This was just my turn to raise my child with no prejudice and not be judged. And if there was any impacts, that's for the others to help absorb.
Mm. Peewee, you're a fine man. I've enjoyed getting to know you. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. And yeah, no, like I value your presence there, man. It's a lot of these guys look up to you. I know they do. And I think, it's one of the cool things, I encourage, conversations between members. I don't expect every member to get along with every member, but I certainly expect everybody to have manners to at least reach out and connect.
Fred Nutt sent me a message the other day, which was great, asking me how I was doing and things like that. So I've been busy. You should see my crops; they were great, man. Probably a little small, but
you're a farmer now. I'm a farmer.
Nah, because I had to. But I went. I actually got to see the full circle. So I got to see, do the ploughing, the seeding. I got to do the cutting, and just before, I finished rake. I got to learn to do the raking. So it's all about teaching me, so I can do it for next year's and so forth. I'm looking forward to it. So just as much as I'm looking forward to the Sunday night talks with you guys.
Been seeing your boy as well.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, mate. So change thinking.
Change thinking to me.
Worthwhile. You're a fella out there who's going through some shit. What would you say to him?
Plan B.
Hey?
Look for Plan B.
Yeah, well, life's all about how well you play Plan B.
Find Charlie MacArthur. He's got a great box.
Okay.
I'm really glad I had to stop and think one night. Was that what tool don't I have? The only tool I don't have is someone to talk to. So even if it was one person and another overhearing, at least one person knows what I'm saying and not going to muddle it up or take it over. I was skeptical. I think
most people were, as Greg put it, they thought it was going to be a fucking load of shit.
That or a scam.
Well, John McDonald beat your heart out.
Look, I'm glad I spoke to you personally.
He ran from me. Good stuff, Peewee. Mate, look forward to seeing you on Sunday night. Let's continue the fight. Anyone who wants to jump on and help this fight with us, get in contact. We'd love some support to put this terrible situation the way it should be. So, Peewee, love you, man.
Thanks, Charlie.
Take care.
All right. Look forward to seeing you Sunday.
I'll be there.
Well, I hope so. It's your show.
That's it. All right, mate. Ciao. Thanks, Peewee. And if you're someone out there that needs support, don't hesitate. Copy that link down and just book a call with me. Only too happy to talk to you and point you in the right direction or see if we can do something ourselves. But don't delay. Book a call today and speak to you soon.